Hey, Will Roberts here, and I am here to give you a little introductory class on how to work your smartphone, to be able to use it to your advantage, to make you smarter, and to be able to help brand you, market you as whatever you happen to be. Now, primarily, I've talked to a lot of actors and performers in using this as their tool, because you can use it to do voiceovers, or you can use it to tape yourself, to be able to watch what you're doing for auditions, and to be able to produce segments to entertain folks, and to be able to bring consciousness to what you do as your brand. Okay? Now, I want to tell you that this is not a class just for performers. This is a class for anybody who's interested in creating things with their phones in regards to media. Because of this new media that we do out there, the social media, the internet media, the radio, television, print media, everybody is going towards this stuff. The technology that we hold in our hands, or better yet, in our pockets. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time with you, giving you a little prelude to some of the stuff that I want you to understand, know, embrace, feel, touch, smell, because this is the best tool that has come along in the last 25 to 30 years. Now, I say this based upon the fact that I've been doing this for about 27 years. I'm a professional actor, Screen Actors Guild member. I am a feature reporter for CBS, PBS, and Fox. I've spent many years doing segments, and I was a Fox Kid Club host on air for 7 years. And so what I did was I was a one-man band. What that means is that I shot, I edited, and I hosted my own segments. So as a one-man band, I was able to create content to be able to put on the air. Now, back when I was doing this in the early 90s and early 2000s, it was me carrying around a big Beta SP camera, or my people I worked with shooting, and then going into a $400,000 editing bay and being able to come out with a package that we would hand to news in the definition that existed back then, which is not HD. Back then it was just digital, but it wasn't high definition. So now, in the course of the last 25, 27 years, I really developed my skills to be able to follow technology, keep ahead of technology, and use it to my benefit. Now, this course and this idea of what I'm doing is not just for performers, as I've said. It's for people who are salespeople that want to be able to, well, to be able to promote themselves, to brand themselves. Because here's the thing. If you are out there and you have this much money to be able to produce, to be able to market, to be able to create spots for yourself, then you really have nothing but your own resources. And your resources really become your knowledge of what you can do with the things that are surrounding you. And now more than ever, as I've said, and I'll say this to the whole thing, this is your best tool to be able to utilize your future and to be able to not have to spend tons of money. Because here's the fact, what I teach folks in what I do on how to shoot and edit and produce on these things and iPads and so on is the idea that you can be able to really not only understand what it's like to be able to produce these, but know all the elements of it, the production parts of it, the sound, the visuals, the sales part of it, and all of it is really possible with this, because when you have this to spend, you really just have this to spend. So then you sit in a sort of a box, whether you're a performer, especially, that has this, nothing, and or a business that's starting up having this, nothing. You can utilize this if you have the right knowledge, and I want to give you that knowledge in my time with you. Now, here's some important things that you should realize. I'm not going to give you everything, the whole ball of wax in this one session. I'm going to give you everything I can that you can digest, because the key to success on this particular sort of class, seminar, keynote is that you can't get a lot of stuff out of all this conversation I'm having. You can get one or two things, because technology is very daunting. It's very difficult to grasp. And I've talked to people all the time. I do keynote speeches. I speak to people all around the world. I've spoke to Boeing, Oklahoma Gas and Electric, New Mexico. I've spoken to a lot of different people. And what I've gathered is that we only take, as they've said in the speaking industry, about 10% of what's being told. So I don't want to overwhelm you, so I will let you know this. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see my email address, and there is a place where you can get a hold of me if you have questions, okay? But I'm going to give you some basic information about the iPhones, the iPads, the Androids, and whatever you happen to be holding in your hand, because all that technology is there, and the megapixels and what we look at. Because here's something that you should understand. Back when I was doing this in the beginning, and I was doing a lot of my editing on a PC, and I'm not making any digs or snares at a PC, but I was really crashing a lot of them because it couldn't render, meaning it couldn't take the video I was doing and being able to produce it. It would just crash it. Nowadays, everything that I can and want to do to make myself look incredible and potentially sell what I do, my brand, can be done on these phones. But again, I want you to understand that this is something that you should take step by step. So I'm going to give you the step by step. Just to let you know, I'll be offering a course as well as giving you some great free tips, the best four-letter word in the English language, free. I'll be offering you some free tips on how to, to go further, to be able to dig deeper in some of the editing programs that are available, to be able to give you some of the stuff that looks like this. Megan Foley, the casting director. Oh, this is going to be fun. So get your hats on, get your pens out, get your phones out, get everything out, and get the nerves out. I'm nervous. Can you tell? I'm a little nervous. Calm down. Let's go in and see it. Here we go. Still a little nervous. Here we go. Yeah, just so you know, and that was a snippet, I produced that whole thing on this iPhone 5S, and at the time it might have been an iPhone 4S or a 4 whatever. But the bottom line is that nowadays the technology, the processing, and everything that exists in this, it is your office. It is your office anywhere you happen to be, but it's technology that allows you to be able to produce some of these things that are as amazing as Star Wars was back in the 70s. But one more thing that's very important is that you should understand is that this technology is something that you want to be able to take this and go step by step. And if you have any questions, you want to do it, you want to ask me. And at the bottom of my screen, again, is my email address. See, back in the old days when we produced things, I say old days, but I mean 80s, 90s, and 2000s when I was doing it, we would produce video, and we knew in the industry that we had to have a certain quality, because people would go, yeah, if it's not beta SP, blah, 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 and you don't edit and it's not digital, then the stations won't take it, because you can watch it. Even watching something 10 years old nowadays, you look at it and you go, dude, that's fuzzy, that's funky looking. Well, nowadays, because of movies like Blair Witch, we can do this, we can move it around, we can do stuff like that, we can whatever we want. But the bottom line is that because of what they did, they took the idea of producing things in post and they put it through weird filters and they put it through funky stuff. The best example I have is YouTube. Nowadays we have like Netflix and YouTube, and I have Amazon Fire that you can hook up YouTube, and we're watching YouTube videos. Now, it's not high definition. I mean, it's as high definition as you can with that sort of system, but we're okay with it. And the reason why is because now we're more acceptable. It's more acceptable to be able to produce something that's kind of weird and funky than it is to produce something that's like, this is an amazing Star Wars footage and we used a 4K camera. By the way, 4K cameras are like, amazing and really amazing digital, and you look at it and you go, whoa. And that's the almost $19 you're paying for the tickets nowadays in the movies. But see, nowadays we don't have to do that. We can use these if you do it the right way and be creative. That is the key, okay? The key is being creative with what you have. And as you saw in my videos, take a look at this clip. Hey, Will Roberts out here in Burbank, California. That's right, right by Hollywood. Here with iActingStudios.com and of course the iActing Studios Network. So today, I decided that I wanted to do a little interview with someone from Hollywood. Get the scoop. Maybe how to be an actor or a performer, or who knows, maybe a reality star. Anyway, so I went to my friend Rick LaFawn of iActingStudios.com and said to myself, hey Rick, can you get me someone to talk on the show? And he said, well, scratched his head and said, how about Megan Foley? You're going to let me talk. See, in that clip, you'll see that I did a lot of weird things and funky stuff. And one of my signature things is that I take a selfie stick and I hold the selfie stick and I spin it around and I use the sound effect. And that's my open. That's my established sort of brand that we go, oh, that's Will Roberts. Okay? I ask you to do the same thing. Think outside the box. If you want to tape your shoe to your phone to your shoe and shoot it this way, that's great. But let's get to some of the basics of what we're going to do. At the end of this, by the way, I'll give you some examples or some ideas on where you can get a hold of me to see the whole thing. I'm going to do a handful classes that will be more advanced, and you can sign up for those if you want as well. Let's start at the beginning. Okay, so at the beginning, what you really want to gather with your phone and what you want to try to really understand in the very beginning is how your phone works and how you're going to use it as a camera. Let me tell you some basic things I don't want you to do. Don't shoot like this, because that's the way the frame looks. So if you're looking at a video, it would look like this, and that would be vertical, not horizontal. Now, unless you watch your TVs at home like this, then I would say you probably want to flip your camera around. You never ever want to shoot this way. This is a great example. Business, any kind of business you do, professional, actor, salesperson, you shoot this, they'll know you're an amateur. Because that's why when you see this on the news, they fill it in with another full screen of really weird, funky, blurry stuff, because they blow it up, because they have to fill the space, which is technically, if you're watching that sort of video, 16 something 9 by whatever. In essence, shoot this way, because this is always the way you want to do it. Now, if you want to do pictures, that's great, and that's wonderful. You can shoot like this. Oh, side note, social media wise, is just so you know, because I'm also a social media guy, weird sort of side note. If you're shooting a video like this or like this, it doesn't matter, and you put it on Instagram, if you happen to be, raise your hand if you're on Instagram. I am. It's a great source. We'll talk about that in my social media part of this program, which you'll see how to sign up for. But if you're shooting like this, let me tell you a tip that you want to know. When you bring it into Instagram, a lot of times you'll see that it's just way too big, and you only get like a portion of that, and you try everything you can to squeeze it down with the whole like iPhone squeeze you down sort of technology that they created, and you can't do it. So you end up going, that's useless. Side note, if you take your phone and you have a picture, okay, let's just say I have a picture of this. You can't see it, but it's a picture like that. If I turn it this way, this is the picture you'll see. It's a picture of a horse, Kentucky Derby. Now, technically, if I try to put that on Instagram, it wouldn't work. But if I do this, and then I do this, and on the iPhone and Android, however you do that, and I take a screenshot, let's do that again, and I do a screenshot in the black. Can't do it in the white. See the white? Don't do it in the white. Do it in the black. See, it blinked. It gave me another shot, by the way, which looks basically like this. It's a small shot. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to be able to take it to Instagram and a lot of other programs that only allow you a certain size, and to be able to have this really good picture at a good resolution and be able to kind of send it out to social media land. Side note. All right, back to the phone. So you learn that you need to shoot this way and not this way. Here's another important part that I want you to understand. When you're using any of the iPhone, or let me show you some of the other tools, an iPad or a tablet or whatever it happens to be, most important thing you should know and learn how to do is shooting the right way. Now you see how I'm holding my camera? I hold my camera like this because if I just held it like this, I'd potentially find a problem that I might do this. See that? See that? What you don't want when you're shooting videos is you don't want to have blurry, you don't want to have shaky camera. You never know if you ever notice that YouTube will say, do you want to correct this because you're jiggling a lot? What you do is it's like shooting a gun, which I happen to be an expert at. Shooting a gun, you want to hold it up here and hold it and move your camera around this way. The slower you do it, the better off you are, unless you have a particular thing that you're trying to do with the camera and you want to move it up and down. You want to just shoot it like this, because when you shoot it like this, you have something holding it up. It allows you to move slowly. You want to practice moving your camera in a very clear, in a very slow fashion, and a very, not jittery motion, because when you do it the other way, your video looks funky, it looks weird. Now, if that's an effect you're doing, like you can see in this video that I've done here. He talked to Megan Foley, the casting director? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. The only problem is I'm a little nervous. That right there is just me doing an effect, okay? And that's, by the way, on a selfie stick. So that brings me to the next thing. A lot of times when you're doing your cameras or you're doing a reverse shot like this, so this is me shooting the camera, right? And this is here's my hand. If I wanted to shoot this way and shoot it myself, again, the function that allows me to reverse the shot, so you can see it, so I can see myself now, right here. Basically, so now I am able to shoot myself. Now it does change, so it changes the resolution, in other words, the size. So when you shoot it this way, it gives you 1080p, or if you have an app like Filmic, it'll allow you to do 1925, something like that, which is really big. But when you're shooting it like this and you have it either in your hand or you have a selfie stick, which I recommend a selfie stick because even now as I'm shooting it and I'm holding it this way, I can see my arm in the shot. Now when you use a selfie stick, which I've used a lot, you're able to put it out far enough that when you do this, you don't see your hand. So my hand would be holding the selfie stick. But there is a trick to using a selfie stick, and here it is. When you use a selfie stick, what you want to kind of do is you want to rest that selfie stick. I use a pencil to show my examination. When you're using that and you're shooting it and here's the camera, you want to kind of place it against your stomach and really kind of position it so it doesn't move. And what you do by extending it that far and then tilting the camera in the little apparatus it has, it allows you to be able to look like you don't have a stick below, and you're able to move it around. But here's another cool trick. A lot of people have said, who's shooting that for you? It looks really interesting. I mean, I can't tell what you're doing. Are you using a whatever? Or someone else shooting it? No. Here's how you use a selfie stick to make it look like you're shooting it or not shooting it, and it looks like it's really professional. Is you basically hold it, so the stick's down here, and you angle it up far enough that you're getting a half shot. And then what you do from there is that you basically, as you're talking, because the stick's here, you will switch hands casually and motion. So anyway, using a selfie stick tilted up far enough that you can see half your body but not your hand and your arm, and then be able to, as you're doing it, because you want to do this and talk to the people, then go in here and switch it and talk to people, and it'll confuse people. But that's not the object. The object is you get a really nice clean shot. It's sturdy, it's against your belt or your stomach, and allows you to do a great shot. Next thing I want to show you is some of the stuff that, and this will wrap this session up, is I want to show you what it takes to edit these things. And here I have a couple of screenshots. I have about 3 or 4 bins in my phone that when I click them and it's entitled production, so I'm producing or editing, I have iMovie, Filmic, I have slow motion, I have color correction, I have a really cool couple of tools on making intros that are cool, like this. See, that's an app. I could never possibly get that by just having a regular video or my iPhone hooked up or my Android hooked up to be able to shoot stuff. I have to actually dig in and do an app. Now, if you're in the industry, you know that stuff like this is stuff that you have to spend a lot of money to do After Effects or Photoshop or animation. All these things that normally back years and years ago, 10, maybe 5, 10, even 5 years ago, you had to spend a lot of money to get someone to do motion graphics or Illustrator or whatever it happened to be. Nowadays, we have these apps that allow us to do opens and closes, and then we can bring it into our editing of what we're doing on our phone, and to be able to put them in the beginning and give us a really good professional, that's the key, professional video that no one else could really produce for you at the price you're paying, which would be nothing. Hey, if you want to get some of the apps and some of the production stuff I use on my phone, or you can get on Android or whatever, then you want to go to this site right below. Take a look at that. I'm going to have a sort of a screenshot of some of the apps that I have available that are really kind of fun, that allow me to do things. Again, these are the apps that are color correcting, amazing, opens and closes, editing programs, again, color correct, all these. I can go on slow motion. And these are fun apps that you can get from, of course, iTunes, or if you're on Android, you can get, you know, Google Apps or whatever. Things that you can put on your phone and be able to edit on. Again, I will close by saying that I can shoot something with my phone, really not even having extra little things, because next episode we'll talk about all the add-ons. See this? This is for an iPhone. And there are many of these out there now. But you put the iPhone in here, and lo and behold, I have a camera that I can mount because it has mounting holes. I can put a shoe on that gives me sound, it gives me a wireless mic that gives me video light, lots of different things. And I have used it for a while. I can take off this mounted lens, I can put on others. I've got this from my iPad, which is amazing. I'll give you all this information on how to get it and maybe some discounts on how to get these things. A boom mic, a Rode mic that you can put the iPad in there, which is what I'm shooting on right now, and to be able to do this. Plugs that you need to have a certain impedance to work on the phone so you can hear that. Just all kinds of great things. What tripods to use. All this will come up. I'm going to do a class that you'll be able to get via streaming, live stream, and through this network here. They will allow everybody to kind of sign up and do this and get more advanced on this. We'll be turning out videos that have to do with how to use this technology, how to be creative, what to do when you're putting this together, the editing parts on the actual programs that we use, whether it's whatever it happens to be, you know, Adobe, iMovie, whatever it happens to be. We'll go over all these things and give you the knowledge, the basic knowledge that will separate you from the rest of the people, whether you're a performer, a salesperson, a business person, or just a person that loves to be creative. The technology has never been better, and you now have nothing but the best to help you understand how to do this, utilize this technology, and be the absolute best you can be. I'm going to close by letting you watch a film that I shot in Durango, Colorado. Good friends of mine, Al Harper, and the Durango, Colorado Railroad, Durango Silverton Railroad, and the actual railroads and used in some of the movies. And because I could take this everywhere, and it wasn't heavy like big movie cameras or the stuff I used to use in the stations, I was able to capture some amazing shots. But more importantly, look at this. This is a silent film. I'm very particular. I wanted to make it look exactly like a silent film. I think I did pretty good, and we produced a, Durango Silverton Railroad robbery, the train robbery, the great train robbery. All this that you will see was produced on my iPhone 5S or 5 or 4S, it doesn't matter, and edited and given the effect to make it look like the old Charlie Chaplin silent films, including the music, including everything. And then I went on with my social media advice and my social media expertise. Then I got out there and really was asked to put this in several film festivals, all done by using my smartphone. Stop making your phones make you seem dumb. Find out what to do on how to make them make you smarter in business, performance, and in life. Check it out, look at this video, and then please get a chance to sign up for my classes coming up. I'll talk to you soon. Have fun, be creative, and this is killer stuff. Utilize it. Don't let it take you over. Don't be intimidated. Get to work.